What is most? Why the F do you know that? Fact. Our local landfill will take your loved one's body and dispose of it for $35. Probably the most innocent fact here, but chickens, hens, have an egg song when they lay an egg. It's like them yelling, "I just laid an egg. Woo." And then the other hens chime in yelling, "Yaas, she just laid an egg. Woo." Farmers need to take care the hens are well fed, because if they decide to try eating an egg they realize how delicious they are and will continue to do so. If the other hens observe this they'll do the same. Chickens will also cannibalize under certain conditions. Farmers used to put red-tinted glasses on chickens so they couldn't tell when a flockmate was bleeding so they wouldn't attack the bleeding chicken. While these were sometimes referred to as rose-tinted glasses. But this sadly isn't where that phrase comes from. Saddam Hussein wrote a romance novel. Is it good? It's awful. There is a podcast called Behind the Bastards, TLDR. There is an episode called Saddam Hussein. Erotic novelist. An orgasm can stop hiccups. Male hedgehogs masturbate for pleasure and you have to be careful picking them up because sometimes they have semen on their feet. It's something you have to look out for when you're a hedgehog owner like myself. My girlfriend had one. All those cute internet videos don't show you how filthy these animals are. There's a reason there are so many videos of them bathing. Considering mine ate dog poop outside and self-anointed himself with it, I can say that it's true. He's a cutie, though. Most dying people don't just slow down breathing and stop silently like the movies. The agonal breathing they do the last few hours or minutes is often startlingly loud. But it makes their CO2 so high that they are unconscious and not suffering. It's just hard on the hearer. You can substitute blood for eggs in any recipe. 65 grams of blood can be used in place of one regular egg. Perfect for the skin pound cake I just learned about. Smiley face. You can neutralize the smell of a rotting corpse by covering it with the ashes of a common campfire. Any wood ash should work. Friends. Hardwood ash will work. Softer, more resinous woods like pine won't. Licking marshmallows and sticking them on a car on a night below freezing will cause the marshmallows to adhere so strongly that if they are removed while still frozen they will take the car paint with them. Great. Now I know another tempting way to be an absolute prick to someone. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was a really popular novel, and was made into a stage play. The actor playing the eponymous roles was so good at switching from the good doctor to the evil Hyde that people wrote to the police claiming that he absolutely had to be the real Jack the Ripper, who was thought likely to be a qualified doctor based on the way he dissected his victims. They thought no normal person would be able to make such a transformation. Urine is historically one of the biggest exports that Newcastle, UK ever had. It was used for a variety of purposes, especially for making ammonia to make paint. Probably not what you're looking for, but 1 pound of sugar per 1,000 pounds of concrete will ruin the concrete and it will never set firm. That's kinda cool. May even be useful in some situation, as commented Bello. It is useful in some situations. Usually when something is wrong with a truck or in a construction site, so it is easier to remove the concrete without it setting firm. Some people also mentioned sabotages during wars and in France. Comments diverge about the time, either French Revolution, WW2 or 80s, 90s. The last person who died building the Hoover Dam was the son of the first person who died building it. An important predator to the Canadian moose is the killer whale. The moose will swim over sea straits and get picked off by the killer whales. Moose can also dive up to 20 feet underwater to get at vegetation, which is a staple of their diet. They need the salt. Ducks will fuck anything. Girl ducks, dude ducks, dead ducks, blue ducks, heck, even a dog if it doesn't fight back. Sounds like a horribly wrong Dr. Seuss poem. Redheads require more anesthesia drugs to remain unconscious during surgery. We're also more prone to anemia and clotting disorders. I am redhead, from a family full of redheads. I've got anemia, and my mom bleeds at even the slightest cut or scrape. Most of us bruise super easily. I've been known to wake up with new ones, and most of us require more anesthesia. I did when I got my wisdom teeth out. I don't know the exact science of it. But it's something related to the gene mutation that causes red hair in the first place. I'm sure someone who knows about the exact science bits can explain it better. I'm redhead. Have clotting disorder. Can confirm. I'm a redhead, and I've been anemic throughout my entire life. It became quite dangerous when I was pregnant, despite the iron pills I took. My husband was also a redhead. Our kid had a 95% chance of being the same and did not disappoint. And he had clotting problems, which did not mix well with his heart issues. My girl has his problems and mine, so she didn't roll the best genetic dice. Although her hair is indeed magnificent. Skeptical smiley face. That in World War II the United States designed bat bombs, basically canisters filled with bats strapped with incendiary devices. The idea was that you drop them over a Japanese city, which were largely wood structures at the time. The bats roost in attics and so on. Then after a certain amount of time they detonate. Soviets trained dogs as tank bombers. But, in actual combat, they would go toward the tanks they had been trained on. Man's best friend fire. They say it's the particular smell of the Russian fuel that the dogs associated with rewards. Imagine this, you're walking down the road, and you see a car crash. Someone gets out of a car, and you realize it's someone you know. So you call their name. They turn, and crumple to the ground. What happened? They dislocated a bone in their neck. And when they turned their neck, they fully snapped it. There's a bunch of stories of this happening to people, which is very scary. Can confirm. I was on an ambulance service and witnessed this at a very minor traffic accident. The gal had internal decapitation and had no pain, so she was walking around when we arrived on the scene to treat a different person who had gotten cut fairly badly by glass in the accident. She dropped in front of us and was confirmed dead at the end. Internal decapitation is probably the scariest 2 words put together I've read in a while. Nobody knew how the fuck eels reproduce until 2015. I read this as, nobody knew how to fuck eels until 2015. And was going to commend them for doing the Lord's work in that field. Someone on Reddit said this on a post: rats constantly leave a trail of urine while dragging their tails. You can follow the trail with a UV light. Single quote. Can confirm. I've had friends with rats as pets and they get pee everywhere. It's not a constant stream. Just tiny drops here and there. Still pretty nasty though. Dolphins have been known to tear the heads off fish and use their corpses as cocksleeves to masturbate. They also chew pufferfish to get high. That's why they're always so fucking happy looking. Just getting high as balls on neurotoxins and jerking off into some fish guts. God damn, what a life. If you feel the need to stab someone, stab oranges. They're the same consistency as human flesh. Newly diagnosed diabetics are sometimes advised to practice insulin injections on oranges instead of themselves. I know my parents did this instead of stabbing me unnecessarily as a T1 baby. If you put a needle into the gum line between the 7th and 8th tooth, you'll hit a nerve that runs past your nose and up to behind your eye. Hitting this nerve causes excruciating pain that no painkiller will help you with. You'll basically need to be given local anesthetic or put in an induced coma to stop feeling it. Pretty sure this is the trigeminal nerve. Women, almost always women, who suffer from trigeminal neuralgia often undergo needless root canals to end the pain. Only for the pain to not stop or get worse. Thus begins a cycle of anti-seizure meds. Brain surgery. Facial surgery. It's a brutal diagnosis for those unlucky to get it. Not only is an elephant's penis prehensile, it's strong enough to throw a grown man around. Imagine being literally dicked around by an elephant. It's illegal to be intoxicated in a bar in Alaska. I won a trivia game at work because I happened to know this obscure fact. The lady organizing it accused me of cheating because no one had ever known the answer to, in which state is it illegal to be drunk in a bar? I've known it for so long I don't even remember where I learned it. I don't think I'd like a quizzo where you get accused of cheating just for answering a question correctly. The woman administrating the quiz game was the senior legal counsel for our division, and in her defense, no one had ever known the answer during the game. And she was joking. Partially. There was no formal inquiry. And I still have my job. You need approximately 23.6 kilograms of anthracite coal to burn an average human male, 80 kilograms, at cremation temperatures. It takes approximately 140 bananas in one sitting to kill someone. By inserting them or what? Probably an overdose of minerals. Theoretically, you can die from banana-induced radiation poisoning. Except you would need to eat 40,000 of them. Yep. Potassium overdose. It interferes with the electrical workings of the heart. A whale dick is the size of a human. What a dork. The farthest fall for a human being to survive without a parachute is 300 feet. How? Long story short, lots of luck. Got stuck in part of the plane that fell into a soft spot of trees, and such, and low blood pressure helped because that helped to not make her heart literally explode. Yes, hearts exploding because of the pressure of an impact is apparently a thing. Best of all, she was temporarily paralyzed and in a coma for a bit. Yet after she eventually recovered, she still wanted to go back to work as a flight attendant.